off in any miner with, I don't know, the link below or something like that. You can put, there's like a series of banners here in your screen.
Yeah.
And there's an option so you can like write out anything, put a color, and just like it gets there.
Okay,
You can also
I
set a
think
background.
we're live on everything. Hold on, let me make this screen big. And then let me see if it's like live on let me like check the apps.
Okay.
Now, have you streamed before?
I have, yeah, I actually have. I was like a host in a streaming program
Yeah.
last year. You remember the studio we met?
Yep, and now
Well,
Yeah.
we were there.
Hold on, let me.
There were like 8
what
months.
energy? Okay, no. Now she's happy again. Okay,
Hold on.
this is good. And I can do one more.
I don't know why. Okay, hold on, let me relaunch these apps. Yeah, I always like double check because like this one time I had this really like good long stream and then it didn't show up on the one stream and I thought it was going and I'm like, ah.
Yeah,
Okay, it's showing I'm live. Yeah, okay. Let me see. We're live on Kick.
nice.
And then just let me double check Twitch.
Hello to.
I don't have too many followers yet. I'm new on both. I think it's working, but it's like not full size on Twitch. As long as we're good on Kick on. Let me check one thing real quick.
You go. Here, what I can see is that the recording didn't begin. So, like in a StreamYard, you're not.
Yeah, we don't need to record. We just need the picture.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Because we're not doing the recording on here because it's going straight to YouTube, right? And then the stream saves on the YouTube, so we don't really need to record. But all right, we're live. We got a couple people, and then well, like what I was also gonna like recommend, like streaming is gonna be the new TikTok. Like I was early on TikTok, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is for teenage girls dancing," and I'm like, dude, you can post videos, get millions of views, free marketing. Like, this isn't going to be for teenagers long, big companies, everyone's coming. So I was kind of like early on TikTok, and streaming's the next big thing. And the people that are getting really famous online right now are all streamers. Why? Because people can clip your content directly from the stream. So, like, you see all these people like Speed, TGR Trades, all these people. You can go on Kick and clip directly from it. And same thing with, even on Twitch is better. You can clip and then that person can post it directly to their social media from the stream. So that's why, like in certain people, they might only have like 50,000 people on Kick, but they're like, you see them all day in your feed. It's because people are, clipping it. Some people are paying them to clip, but other people, these accounts that get paid for reviews, they just take viral content and repost it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do now is do more of the live stream and then people have it clipped and then have people repost my stuff. So I'm not like on this hamster wheel posting stuff all day. Like I'm tired of doing like 3 posts a day. I've been pretty religious about it, but I'd rather have other people like post my stuff and like just make better like long form content. So yeah, I highly recommend streaming. It is a whole different beast. Like doing videos or whatever, like one and then having to hold, a live stream.
And you need a lot of content.
Yeah. But okay, so some people are like so weird, like there's like people that stream themselves sleeping. Like there's whole accounts that are creepy where you like it's just like I'm streaming 24 hours, I'm not stopping, and they'll put the camera above their bed.
I think that's a bit creepy.
It is totally creepy.
If you want to try it, okay, go ahead.
But I guess like on Kick, they give the content creators 95% of the income. So like the people that are streaming and have people watching, like they're making a lot of money, like way more money than YouTube, I think.
Than YouTube.
So I know YouTube pays a lot, but I
Real.
think these streamers, the amount of money they make is like way higher than like YouTube or anywhere else. So
Okay, I'll have to open up a Kick account then.
yeah. Well, Kick. So like Twitch is the big one, but there's a lot of competition, and on Kick there's not a lot of people. So like if you get into crypto on there, there's only a couple people. There's like almost like no one doing it, and most of the thing in crypto are like faceless accounts that are like just trading. So I'm like trying to find someone on there like I can collab with and do the stream.
I already have a person.
But the problem is that I know like one other guy, and he got his account not big, but he has like 9,000 people on there, and like now he doesn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna give him free, collab. I don't know.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I don't want to let him get big. I already have 9,000 people, and it's hard to convert people from your other socials because not many people watch live streams or do it.
I mean, if you have to download another social app, it's kind of difficult. Like taking into account that you don't have much time free in the day. Maybe we have more time, so we can like.
Yeah.
Get into this.
Okay, I'll tell you this. It's addicting, the stream. Watching the live streams, like, I get it why it's like super interesting because it's live. It's like, what's better than that? And I see why it's addicting. So how are things down in Buenos Aires? It's winter, right?
In Buenos Aires, yeah, it's winter. It's kind of cold, but we are like super focused. Well, this week has been very, very intense, and it's only Wednesday. So tomorrow I actually have to pitch in English here, and we have to present the project that we have. But it's like.
Is this at the hackathon?
No, this is for the hackathon, yeah. But I don't know if you heard that in November we're hosting the ETH Dev Connect, which is like a pretty huge conference here. To have here of Ethereum, it's like 5 days in the biggest convention place here in Buenos Aires, and there are like I think 15,000 people coming to this event.
What's it called?
So, ETH Dev Connect.
So it's like an Ethereum conference.
Ethereum conference, yeah. But there are gonna be like other blockchains just popping around and doing side events and
Wow.
conferences and talks and that kind of stuff. So we are kind of preparing for that. Well, at least in the co-work that I go to, in LF. We are, it's like a very crypto techy co-work, so we are hosting lots of events there, in order to get more people, hyped up with this Ethereum thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are you pitching there?
Tomorrow I'm pitching for Stellar. Stellar is the XLM token, and we are making a project about crowdfunding for NGOs. So there is some sort of already like an organization here that needs to get that done. And what the Stellar team did was just like connect with them and ask us, the devs and the marketing teams, to make like the best crowdfunding based in Stellar platform. So we are doing that tomorrow. I have to prepare like the whole pitch, but it's very interesting to see it because we already have like use cases for this to just donate via crypto and just connect your wallet and see how that gets like an actual use case, an actual impact. It's about social impact, and you can actually trace where all the funds go to. So it's kind of changed that mindset of, I'm donating for a good cause, and after the money is all gathered, I forget about it. what they did with that. And it's about changing that to see what actually happens when you put money there, especially crypto. And also, what it allows to do is to get funds from other countries to here, which is very important because if not, we only have pesos. And
Oh
we
yeah.
do
No one wants those pesos.
with dollars and with crypto. Yeah, yeah. I mean, right now, the dollar is kind of stable here, but it's a good moment for crypto, and I think that as people are, more in profit, they are more willing to donate and to see these new projects going on.
Now, how is the Argentine economy right now? Like, how are things under melee? Hold on one second. I'm gonna post.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna post the link to the live stream on my socials really
Yeah,
quick.
Sure, go on. So right now, well, just I was coming here and I saw there was like a news about. You remember the Libra case?
Yeah, I know the guy that made the coin.
Well,
I had meetings with that guy in Paraguay.
Okay.
Hayden Davis. I know. I met Hayden. I partied with him.
Okay, well, you never know here, you never know. But you know about what went down,
No, I know all about it. But yeah, you tell me. I'm gonna post the links. You tell me what's going on with that, and then I'll tell you the insider story.
The gossip.
The gossip.
I know all about it. So what I heard today actually is that one of the people involved of here, here in Argentina, just like sort of retired the money from an actual, like cash. That I really don't know how they achieved it, but they managed to get the cash from the United States or from these wallets, and just they kept it safe.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a couple of months now. I think it has been like 6 months. They bought crypto with that, and after that, they claimed that they had lost the wallets.
Mm-hmm.
They had lost the funds with those things, with those earnings that they had from the Libra case. Also, the sister of the president is.
Yeah, so Hayden Davis allegedly gave her millions of dollars to indirectly pay Malay.
Exactly. So she's the one managing things, apparently. And some accounts popped up that she had these earnings, these dollars into, things that they can't really say that they have,
Yeah.
because it's not like, I want to call it illegal because here I don't think we have like a clear legislation for that yet.
So no one got in trouble.
I have seen on YouTube people that just teach how to do rug pulls, and of course those people should be in jail because it's a scam, a digital scam. And here we also don't have like much clear, like a clear path on that. So I don't know how things are going to go down, but this is important because we're having elections like in a couple of months. We're having elections in September.
Yeah.
So next month we're having elections. It's not like a huge election. It's an election for the Congress, so it's like a Congress change, but elections nevertheless. And I think everything will impact somehow.
Yeah, so when this guy I was kind of this new guy's partnering up with to do Bitcoin mining in Paraguay, and he's all connected, and his dad was in the government. He's like, hey, we have some high rollers coming into town. We're having this rooftop party. Like, I got you invited. So I go. There was only like 10, 15 people there. And it was a bunch of other gringos. So one guy was like one of the founders of Solana. And he wrote this guy used to work for Citadel Capital, which is like one of the largest hedge funds. And he wrote the high frequency trading code for Citadel, and then he went to Solana. He helped write. He's like one of the main developers of Solana. So him, and there was another guy who he has like one of the number one marketing agencies. He does Michael Jordan stuff. He's a big guy. And then Hayden Davis, and then they had a couple other employees, and I thought Hayden Davis was like the lower end, like worked for these other guys, and I hit it off with him. He played soccer, I played basketball. We were having drinks, and then we went out that night. We had a good time, and then they left. We had a boys' night. We had a great boys' night, and no, I liked him. We had a good time, and then I was randomly back in town like 6 months later, and a mutual business friend of mine was like, hey, that Hayden Davis guy's back, and he's trying to meet with Cortez, who's like the former president of Paraguay, who's kind of like the Trump, and he wants to pay like money to have a meeting, and we're like, and they were coming to me, they're like, hey, is this guy legit or not? And I was like, I have no idea. He doesn't have any social media. He talks, he's doing this and that. He stays at a nice hotel, but I mean, Paraguay's cheap. Like, anyone can stay at a nice hotel.
If you don't have social media right now, it's like you're a ghost. Honestly.
Yeah, and you could be the biggest person, but like, if there's nothing to back it up, you're kind of playing the guessing game. So I was like, I don't know. And I met with him at coffee breakfast. We talked about working, and we exchanged numbers, and we were texting. And then all of a sudden, the Libra coin thing comes out. And I was like, oh man, he did the videos and all that stuff. And I kind of believe him, because when I was having meetings with him in Paraguay, they were pretty much getting access to tokenize the Argentina economy. Like, they were talking about the subway system, all this stuff, which would have been like crazy big projects.
Like last year.
Yeah, this was a minute ago. So they were going to get access to do all this stuff. And I think, Milei or his family, they wanted to make a quick buck, so they came forward with this meme coin. I don't even think it was his idea. The problem was, I kind of believe him. There were multiple parties doing this, and none of the tokens were locked for a period of time. So it went boom, and then
It's already set up. It was like me doing something on fun.
Yeah.
I just send it to you, and I send it to you, and that's it.
Yeah, so none of the tokens were locked,
One
and
tweet of Milei worth like millions and millions of dollars. So yeah, here we also think that he didn't really know what was behind it.
no.
But I mean, he should have.
Yeah, it was a bad move, and Hayden Davis obviously was buying access. He was paying off his sister. He was buying his way in. I think he made money on these meme coins early. He was throwing a ton of money around. So I think he was just had access to all these people. But I believe him, because he had if this would have worked or whatever, he had access to way bigger projects than this freaking coin. And what I think happened was the other parties involved.
And there were better ways to implement it, though.
No. But what I think happens, other parties were involved. All of a sudden, they look at their wallet and they got 50 million. They started selling, and so he was under the thing, either we let these guys rug it or we make 100 million. So he sold his for 100 mil. So
everything that can happen right now.
But he's an idiot. No one knew who he was, and then he went and did like a bar stool with Dave Portnoy and all these interviews, and I'm like, dude, I would have just ghosted with my 100 million and got facial reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, no. Horrible. And you can move to anywhere, just leave the country, I don't know. But honestly...
But he was also behind, he did the Melania coin.
Yeah, well, he wants the Melania, the Trump coin.
And this cost him a lot of money, because he was in talks to do the Barstool Sports meme coin. And then obviously this thing fell out and never happened.
How it was managed, because what we think here that went down is that Karina had some sort of convincing there, and that Milei wasn't like he didn't really know that there was gonna be like anything in crypto kind of involved. In fact, if you looked at the landing page, it wasn't like a very specific thing. It was like very theoretical. Like we're a project that will help entrepreneurs in Argentina. You can register here in this Google form. There was no info on the people that were behind that. There was no
Hmm.
white paper. There was no like roadmap of how would I get
It
there.
was a money grab.
Yeah, like nothing. Um, and the people that went down with it, like they were mostly not Argentinians also, because they were all foreigners that already had money on Solana or on crypto or something. It
Hmm.
was like a Friday night, so it wasn't like much of
Yeah,
success
I don't
in
think it was like a
the
ton
team.
of locals in Argentina
Yeah,
that
it
were
was pretty
buying
bad.
$5,000 worth of meme coin. You have to already
Yeah,
be in the industry. Um,
yeah, no,
Now,
no, no.
how is the economy and the currency doing right now?
The currency. Well, yeah, I spoke it a little bit before.
Is inflation calming down, or what's the real what's
The
going on for real there?
okay, there's happening something here that it's not very normal to happen, but it was one of the promises of the
Hmm.
government that dollar inflation would be kept down. Actually, inflation is pretty good, like for what I have been alive to witness. Um, we are seeing like 2%, 1% each month, which is very, very low. Like take into account in 2021,
Hmm.
2022, we had like plus 10% of inflation each month. So we're gonna close the year like very good there. Um, I don't know if we are getting as much investment as we would like to from other countries to
Hmm.
here. Actually, the only one industry that's doing very well is oil,
Hmm.
because we have some sites here that are very good for that. But since we opened so much the barriers to other countries to import things, and the competition is very tough. In China, for example, China is like a very big market here, expanding in Argentina, and you can buy things way cheaper than they get produced here. So that's kind of causing a bummer to the industries here, because, for example, me, if I wanna like buy clothes here in Argentina, it's very expensive, like ridiculously expensive. I can just ship things from Shane or from Timo like in 2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
and have a whole new wardrobe for $300, and maybe that gets me here like I don't know a t-shirt, like pants and a pair of
I
sneakers.
never
That's it.
I never
And I
do
can buy
shopping.
clothes.
I never do shopping in Argentina. I like the best place to do shopping for me is like I go to Dubai and they have no taxes and they have like all the brands and stuff. Or like where I'm from in California, there's a million malls and stuff. But like yeah, the clothing's you don't have a lot of choices and the clothing's expensive. Um,
Yeah.
and what's really weird, like Paraguay's even more expensive, like the clothes because they have a high import tax and they don't make any clothing. So like Paraguay has very
Oh,
little stuff and
that's really weird.
clothes are really expensive in Paraguay. It's pretty weird.
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, here they are quite
wait, so
expensive.
I want to talk about.
That's like a real example. Like all my friends, well, my friends and people on TikTok. You were talking about TikTok as a marketing thing. Timo is totally eating the market in TikTok. They are just giving like huge discounts for influencers to bring the clothes in for like 80% off, things like that. And I honestly, I think I can like see this is not gonna end up well for our industries. We are
Because
really open.
correct me if I'm wrong, Argentina is opening up for free trade, right?
Yeah, kind of. They are lowering the taxes a lot, and right now we have ways. We have well, lots of fintech, crypto industries that are allowing customers to buy things abroad with this type of dollar. Well, we have different types of dollar in Argentina too, with a type of dollar that is not the card dollar. The card dollar, let's say, is 1,000
Mm-hmm.
and the regular dollar is like 1,300 pesos. So 400 pesos of difference in each dollar, which is kind of, it price up. So this vintage allows normal people to just buy outside with a good dollar price. So it's much better to just bring things from abroad rather than buying it here. Like for example, this set, this technology. I don't know if furniture would survive the trip, but even furniture, if you get it like, I don't know, like
Oh,
sourced, it
IKEA.
would be great. Yeah, some sort of
They
IKEA.
all the Chinese stuff they make it, and then you construct it in your house.
Yeah, I mean, the the salaries are not like going up a lot because the dollar is very restrained in this area, which is kind of a bummer for us because we earn in dollars. But let's say that throughout this year, it has been pretty stable to what we normally are used to. Inflation has been going down, but businesses are not making more profit. So in the long term, it's not like a very sustainable situation.
Okay, so I have questions.
I
I
don't
have
know.
questions for you. Okay,
So you just say,
so I think Buenos Aires is like such an underrated, awesome city, and I've been early and I've been right about a lot of things, but a lot of times I'm just super early. But in my kind of ideology, I think the days of the dollar and the United States are dwindling. I think the U.S. culturally, everything, Trump's kind of the last stand to bring back nationalism and restore the country. But like, what happens after Trump or if Trump fails? I kind of think the U.S., we're going to have all kinds of civil unrest, all this BS in the future. So like for me, I was like, hey, I want to get these residencies and start investing in
yeah,
real
so
estate.
Plan Bs and Bitcoin
Plan
and
Bs.
wallets.
Also, like, let's say there's some big war in Europe. Like, where are all these people going to go? You're not going to Africa. Asia's homogenous. That you can't immigrate anywhere. It's going to be Central South America, is where you can have a lot of people have a lot of money and they want to get out of town. So I was like, hey, real estate could do really well, or if you have stuff set up there. But I was looking at, I love Buenos Aires. I love oh God, what's the one area? Palermo is like, with all the coffee shops and all that stuff, is like the best. So I was like, okay, what if I got a little 1 bedroom, place there? So I found this like sick, brand new constructed building, penthouse, 1 bedroom studio for 115 grand with like this ginormous wraparound patio for 115. But the problem is, I was talking to the guy. I'm like, dude, this is too good to be true. I was like, this is right on the edge of Palermo, like where you're going to the park side. So it's like in between the park and Palermo, like perfect location. So I like messaged the guy. I was like, this is like a good property. I'd like to check it out next time I'm going. The problem is it's a new construction. You can't get any financing on it. So you have to pay cash for 115.
You have to pay full.
Yeah, because I guess he explained something where on new constructions they don't do it, but like if you're buying properties that are already used, then you can do the loans. But even if you do the loan, it's still 50% down, and then you have to do an inflation adjusted mortgage for the remaining.
Yeah, we are not as flexible as you are with financing. Well, that's actually a very big problem because here, I mean, me or my friends, if we don't have, I think it was like 30% in cash of the actual property, we can't ask for a loan. So it's a pretty bad thing. What it is a very good zone if you do have that amount is the center. Like when you came here, I'm sure you visited the Obelisco. You remember Colon Theater? There was like a huge avenue.
Yeah.
Anyway, that area is very good because well it's centric, so you have all means of transport, but it's cheaper because of after the pandemic, lots of enterprises preferred to just pay co-working sites and not go back to the actual office there in the, let's say, like microcenter. That's the name. offices buildings, like huge buildings that are being, let's say, how can I say, like, it's not like downsized, but they are like a very good price because the owners kind of don't see the business anymore, or they want to retire because they are like tired of that, and that's it. And I have heard there are very good opportunities there. It's not Palermo though, but it is a good song.
Now, are you talking of like an apartment or to like get an office? Or both?
You can get offices, like the whole floor if you want.
But you're
or
saying
get an
the
apartment.
pricing's like really cheap there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's way cheaper than, I mean, Palermo. It's like very high top.
Yeah. Yeah, but but Palermo's awesome because like if you can get something walking distance, it's gonna hold its value. But I was looking because when I'm usually getting a hotel or Airbnb, like it's still pretty expensive, and I'm like at 115, I was like I'd be at least getting $100+ a night to rent this out. Like I'd be making money on that property.
Yeah.
The problem is dumping $115,000 in cash is a no-go. So here, if you're a first-time home buyer, you can have a mortgage of you can put less than 10% down. So $100,000 would be giving you access to $1 million property in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge difference. Well, here we don't have that possibility. There are some loans. Well, recently, for example, there were like lots of loans to get cars, like brand new cars. I know in the US it's also very cheap, but here to get a brand new car, it's pretty expensive. Like for example, I would say a Corolla, a Toyota Corolla
Yeah.
can be like $20,000 or more. And
Now, is this because you guys have high taxes?
we have high taxes. We're also very far away from the world, so they kind of have to manufacture it.
The shipping, it comes on a
Away
boat.
from Argentina, just bring it here. So I understand there are lots of costs, but since it's very expensive, they like some banks opened up loans, and it was very hard for people to fulfill the requirements because we don't have like the credit score.
Mm-hmm.
The loans are based out on your salary, and it is kind of hard to get a high paying salary, like for example 2 million pesos here would be super good salary. And that was kind of the base requirements that that banks were asking for. So it's like a no-go, and you have to be like very, very careful. That's why I think like crypto is where you can actually make some money because the other industries are kind of
Yeah. No, I've noticed this a lot. So, like the two places I spend a lot of time and I'm a resident and I would love to own a place are Paraguay and Panama. And they both have the most overvalued real estate markets in Latin America. Because Panama is a big money laundering, international banking hub. So everyone just has all this money parked. All these buildings are empty. They want crazy prices. And honestly, it's in the middle of it's on the water, but it's in the middle of the jungle. They're not running out of any room. And like a little house there on a golf course is $1.5 million, $2 million. And it's like the quality is not that nice. And no one makes any money there. Like the locals, it's all foreigners coming in and buying. The locals don't make anywhere near what it costs to afford. So in Paraguay, it's a huge money laundering hub, and there's no property taxes. No, it's true. There's no property taxes. So people in the banking system is really weak in Paraguay. So people are just parking their money into land and then building these like 12-story apartment buildings everywhere, all over the city, and they're all empty. So every time it's great because when I go to visit, I Airbnb. $50 a night gets you unbelievable Airbnb, and when you stay in the building, there's like one other person in the whole building. It's empty, and I was like, oh, Paraguay's gonna be dirt cheap, but I'm like, I'm not gonna pay 6 figures for 1-bedroom place in Paraguay, like what's renting for $30 a night. You'll never make your money back. But what I was,
but for example, well, here there was a ranking that I saw on Instagram like a couple of days ago. It takes you like 29 years to buy you a house, to buy yourself a house in Buenos Aires with a minimum salary. like 100 years just to get a house. So no sense.
Yeah. My grandparents bought their house in Orange County, California for $59,000. And my dad was like, I thought they were crazy for spending that much money, and then they just sold it for like, they sold a couple years ago when they retired for $700,000, and then it just resold for $1 million.
Wow.
Prices where I live have gone crazy, and it's funny. Like my parents they started a business and have done well, but they've made a lot of their money, the majority of their money in real estate. So like they had to buy the real estate for their business.
It was like a golden era in the United States to buy these properties. I constantly see on Instagram people like millennials complaining about that.
No, it's such BS. Like my parents were they got in and bought their first condo, sold that for a bunch of money, bought their house, and then rolled it into bigger houses, and then they bought the properties for their business, which is industrial, and industrial just went crazy. So their, big chunk of their net worth is all tied into this real estate. But they do realize like we are in the everything bubble, and they're starting to.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of.
They're starting to liquidate and sell some stuff off. So what I think's gonna happen is, with Trump, it's just jet fuel on stocks, crypto, everything. But eventually, this is gonna come to an end, and when it comes to an end, it's gonna be biblical. And the government has skirted free market during COVID. The real estate markets and stock markets should have crashed. The government came in, printed trillions of dollars, gave everyone checks. Everyone no-show unemployment paid more than working. So people would just quit, it was hard to hire. So they messed the whole market up. But where real estate should have crashed, it short squeezed because you couldn't foreclose on a home. So there were no bankruptcy, there was no inventory coming online, so there were no homes for sale. And my friend's dad owns a bank. He's a bankruptcy attorney, owns a firm, and they're doing horrible because there's no bankruptcies, right?
No one is fighting for bankruptcy.
So, but right now, the inventory of homes, and everyone has their own markets, but let's be honest, the world economy is tied to the United States of America. All global real estate is tied to the United States of America. United States of America is the center of finance, money. A lot of these people that own places in Buenos Aires, they're all Americans. It's all firms and money coming from the U.S. that's investing. Like, everything's interconnected. So when the U.S. goes, everything goes. So I think, and right now the inventory is exploding. If you go online, like everything's for sale, nothing's moving. The amount of homes on the market's like 24% more than last year, and the sales volumes collapse, like nothing's moving. So realtors aren't making any money because nothing's selling, right? They only get commission if it sells. So we're just at this point right now, but prices aren't coming down, but inventory keeps coming, and eventually you're just going to have this huge crash. And the stock market can tank, and the real economy will be fine. But once real estate goes, everything goes, because that's the real economy in the U.S. is the real estate market, and everyone's tied. And there's certain places like Miami, LA, like where I'm from, everyone's in real estate. You go to these nice restaurants at lunch.
Well, I was in a little island called Roatan.
Oh, you went to Roatan? In Honduras?
Yes.
I know people that are. Did you go to the Amity Age Bitcoin house or?
Constructor. They're realtor. I have an agency of realtor. I know everyone's selling homes here.
Yeah, but you're on an island. What else is there? There's no other economy but the real estate.
Yeah, but it was like visiting Miami for a couple of weeks because everything is so American based. The supermarket is fully filled with American products, like nacho chips of half a meter long. We're all over the place.
Did you go to the Bitcoin house there?
I went to Prospera Zone.
Were you going for work or a vacation? Or both?
So we actually, I was supposed to get there for a hackathon, but we kind of arrived late because we haven't fulfilled the 10 days of the yellow vaccine, that was like the
Oh,
opposite. That you get asked if
I
you
got
want
that
to.
done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had to get that done, and I had to delay the trip like 10 days.
Uh,
But we eventually got there. It was super nice. Like honestly, I have never visited the Caribbean. We went straight to the Prosperous Zone. We went to the Doom Tower. We stayed at the Beta Hostel, and the people were super nice. It was like very nice weather, but yeah, it was like filled with Americans. I was like, well, I wasn't expecting to have an island in America, like in Latin America,
yeah.
where the main language was English. I was like super surprised about that. And the other thing was getting the currency, like the native currency. We could never get that. It was only dollars.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, this is weird, but we can adjust, let's say. But I'm surprised that you know that. Yeah.
No, I have this friend, my old buddy. His dad owns a hotel down there, and he was telling me about it back in the day. And they used to go down all the time. And then I don't know if you met Dusan. He's Slovenian, I think. He runs the Amity Age, like Bitcoin house there.
Oh no, it was closed. I
Uh,
don't really know how, but I saw it like from outside.
yeah, so he like started that, and he mines Bitcoin in Paraguay, and I kind of met him at a conference. So I follow him, and he's always posting stuff on Roatan, and then he was at the Bitcoin conference in Prague, and Prospera had a booth, and they were talking about a lot of that. So I've been following all those guys in Prospera. So I was curious, like, how is the Prospera city? Because I heard like they try to hype it, but like I don't know anyone that's really gone or invested there. Is it big? Like, what's your take on it?
Well, I will tell you the dynamic. There's like something called the Prospera Weekend that we could fortunately attend to. It is like a 3 days lasting event where they show you all about the Prospera Zone, like what are the goals, what is their focus. They have like, let's say, when Hong Kong first was made,
Mm-hmm.
they like the government turned in some land to people to just experiment, and they didn't have like lots of laws. They
So it's
had
like a free trade zone, pretty much.
yeah, exactly. Well, in Prospera, they're trying to achieve the same, and they have the land for 50 years up to use. And it's interesting because you can put a business there, and you can set it up and have like to pay 5% annually in taxes, like, and that's it. And you can
Now, are
have
you
a business.
paying Prospera taxes or the government?
You're paying Prospera taxes,
Hmm.
which is not like Honduras taxes,
Yeah.
but it's there in the island.
Now,
So
are there a lot of?
you don't have to pay to Honduras. It's like you just have to pay to Prospera.
But what was the vibe like? Were there a lot of entrepreneurs doing it? Was it dead? Was it okay? What was?
I didn't see lots of people, but there were people that had gone before and were actually buying, like an apartment there.
Mm-hmm.
There is like one building, like very big building of apartments, really nice, sort of a Palermo style. And there they have two resorts, two hotels, one villa with lots of houses, but let's say like huge houses, like 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom houses. Those are up to like $800,000.
Mm-hmm.
The apartments are in between 150K and 250K, sorta.
Yeah.
But they have like amenities and that sort of
See, the
stuff.
problem with
If
buying
you do rent, yeah.
foreign real estate is you can't get loans in these other countries because you have no, like as a foreigner, you have no credit check. Like even in the locals don't have credit checks in Argentina, so it's very hard to get financing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you have this big wealth gap in all these countries.
Yeah, you will have to talk to the Prospera team because maybe they do have loans because
Yeah.
they want to attract as many people as possible. But like when we talk to people who are local, people who actually live there, you realize like the big gap there is between the people that want to invest and are able to pay to live there, and the local people don't have like I would think like a regular salary. It was like let's say $100 per month. something like
Wow.
that. Because every time I mentioned the dollars word, all people were like looking at me like that. I was like, I was in mainland in Honduras, and it is like pretty tough.
I heard the
Yeah,
mainland sketchy. Stay on the island.
mainland is very sketchy. It's like Roatan is a paradise.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Mainland is kind of
Rough.
tough. It's like I don't know. It's like it's tough. It's just tough. It is nice. It's like a jungle, but it is. I mean, I wouldn't dare to say it's like in the U.S. you have like the free ability to just carry a gun around if
Mm-hmm.
you have a permit. Okay, here in Argentina we kind of don't have that. It's very weird to see someone carrying a gun unless they are trying to assault you or something. There in Honduras, it was like super common. We went to the supermarket in the mainland.
Well, it's probably so dangerous they allow people with licenses to carry.
Yeah, I'm not really informed on what is happening there.
Yeah.
But if you want to invest there, I would wait until the outcome of November because they are having elections.
Mhm.
That
No, I heard people, the locals are like annoyed because, the mainland's struggling. There's this little island where all the rich foreigners are going, and then they're not paying any taxes to Honduras, and then they're attracting people. So, and they're at the mercy of the government, and even though they have some contract, they can come in whenever they want and say, hey, this is over. For me, I like it. I go visit, but I wouldn't invest. It's not far enough away. Also, like for a plan B, being stuck on an island that imports all its food, water, and everything, it's like you don't want to be stuck on an island, and I get bored on an island. There's not enough to do. The three places.
you can do lots of things.
Yeah.
You could, I don't know, like swim with the dolphins. They have the second biggest coral in the world after Australia. And
Did you swim with the dolphins?
I went to see the corals. No, I didn't swim with dolphins. That was a bit expensive though. But just being in the Caribbean and having water in the sea, like 30 degrees.
Was that your first time in the Caribbean?
That is like a straight Caribbean, like fully transparent water. All the fishes around you.
Now, what
It was-
other countries have you been to? Any other countries in Central America?
No, I was in Uruguay and Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil is pretty nice. They have like a good coast, but it was nothing like Roatan.
Yeah.
It's like a paradise there.
No. I've done the Caribbean back in the day, all the cruise, and went to Puerto Rico. They have really good beaches. I did Cuba.
Cuba. I heard that Cuba is like really nice, but they have a similar situation to Honduras. I think it's not that deep, but there is like this social gap also.
Oh, it's crazy because there's like I went to Cuba when it was still illegal to go. So what I did was I flew
Back in the day.
I flew to Cancun, and then I flew from Cancun, and what they do is they don't like stamp your passport. But it was like so crazy. Like you get off the plane. I remember going down these stairs and like the lights aren't working. They're like flickering, and then they're just like forms that are scattered on a table, like that you have to fill out, and then you get there. And in Havana,
Just every movie.
there's only 2 nice hotels to stay at. And I stayed at the one, I forgot the name of it, it was like an Ibero Star, and it was in the square where you can rent the cars. The other one's up on the hill, and I know Obama stayed at the other one when he went. So the hotel I stayed at actually blew up, and like 20 people died. They had I think it was a gas leak, and it blew up, and like all the guests died. Because they don't have, the infrastructure is just collapsing. They don't know how to, there's no maintenance of anything. So that was one of the 2 nice hotels in Havana blew up. So
Yeah, and that's why they have so many old cars. They are very good mechanics.
yeah, because they're just reusing the same cars. There's not like there's restaurants or whatever, and pretty much everyone that goes there gets sick. Because they wash the water. The water's really bad. They don't have purification systems, or it's not good. And it's hard because they wash the food or whatever. So if you go out to eat, like they're washing the food with the water, with the bacteria. So I got super sick at the beginning, and like all my friends, you get sick the first couple of days you're there. But what's crazy is it's incredibly safe. So the tourists are the meal ticket, and you cannot touch or screw, harass with the tourists.
No, because
And it was funny. I didn't know this, and I'm like, I was nervous. I got there. I'm like, you're looking at abject poverty. And the girl I was with, she got sick, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have some beers and walk around. So I just was drinking, and I was like walking in the ghetto, and everyone just came up and was super nice to me. And then you would see like large crowds of people outside the hotel, and they're trying to get Wi-Fi. They're trying to steal Wi-Fi because no one has any internet. And it was a crazy experience. I remember going to dinner, and then the waiters were like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from California. Like, oh my God, tell me about California. And then I was like, yeah, I just flew into Cancun. They're like, tell us about Cancun. No one's left the island. The waiters would sit down at my table and just start like picking your brain. And people like on the beach, people are so friendly because they don't have social media and all this, electronics.
They don't have. They have a very limited data access.
Yeah.
That is limited by the government. So maybe you have like, I don't know. I have a pack of 6 gigabytes per month, and they have access to 1 gigabyte per month.
Yeah.
And if you exceed that, it's like, okay, you're down for a month. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
But their social skills were crazy. So like, just people on the street would come up to me. I would go on a walk on the beach and end up making friends with some guy. We'd be talking for 40 minutes. Like, if someone came up to me on the streets in California, I'd be like, get away from me. Like, they want something. Something's wrong with this person. So I had this like apprehension to talk
just wanted to talk.
to strangers. But like by the end of I had a million friends because I was just talking to everyone. And then I went to a place called Varadero, which is like the beach area. And the hotel was like, I got like the nicest hotel you could, and it was super run down. Like, it had flooded on the first floor. I had to change my room. Like, the hair, like nothing worked in the room. And then like I tried to go out, and there's like 2 places where you can go have drinks and salsa. Like, there's no nightlife. And that was weird because I was in Havana. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to these salsa clubs, and there was very few things to do.
And they didn't exist.
There were no stores, no brand name stores. There weren't a lot of places to go out. Just nothing going on really. It was kind of depressing. But the beaches were insane. Now, I wanted to get back to the car thing. So I had to rent a truck in Paraguay, and it's like $150 a day to rent a truck. And no one owning a vehicle
Yeah.
owning a vehicle there, and I think the same thing in Argentina, is a big deal because it's the tax. They have really high import taxes, and you can't get loans. So like no one has the cash to pay, hey, $30,000 for a new car. So a lot of the people or chicks and people that have worked for me, like no one owns a car. You don't need a car in Buenos Aires because you guys have fantastic subway, bus,
I mean, yeah, that's true.
and you're in a city.
You don't really need a car. If you're just working here and you live in a city, especially, I wouldn't buy one because it's super difficult to park. And if you have a car, you have to pay the parking slot, which can go up like 40,000 pesos per day. You know, that would be like $30 a day, something like that. If you don't have a high-paying job, that is really not worth like the hustle. I mean, you can just like pay a ticket. A bus ticket is half a cent, and you can get in the subway for half a cent, also, or almost $1. So it's chop.
Yeah.
That's it. But buying I'm talking about buying brand new cars. So what people usually do here is just have a used car, or maybe they get a gift from your father, your grandfather that have a car, and you just like flip it. You kind of put it really nice. You sell it, and then you buy another one, and you buy another one, and maybe it's like from the first car till the very brand new. You have 4 cars in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's very usual here. That you get some training with that.
Yeah. Where I'm from in California, we're car people. So like in New York, you don't have a car. You spend your money on nice clothes and suits.
Yeah.
Here, there's no public transport. So everyone has a nice car, and because of the weather, you have year-round good weather, everyone spends all their money on nice cars here. But I was going to say, like, you guys at least have public transport and buses, subway. There's no subway system in Asunción, Paraguay, and their bus, like, I feel bad for the people. Like the bus will come and there's thousands of people at the bus stop, and then they cram in, and if there's not enough, you have to wait for the next one. And their bus system, I actually know the guy that owns the bus system. It's private, and
they haven't thought about putting more buses.
no, but it's just. It really sucks if you don't have a car. Like, it's not a place, like, where you need a car and no one has a car, and it's a big deal owning a car. And the one business I was actually, like, looking at maybe doing is, like, car rentals. Because I had to rent cars there, and it was astronomical. And what you would make renting the car is more than you'd get for renting a room for Airbnb, because they're just saturated. And I think, like, someone was telling me the other day, I have to fact check this, but they said that Paraguay had one of the largest increases in tourism in the world. They still don't have like a lot of people going, but the actual percentage of people going went up like 50-60%, which makes sense.
Good for them.
So
they get better.
no, but so 3 places. Wait, I want to say 3 places I'm looking at like investing are Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, and Paraguay.
Okay.
But like I told you, Paraguay's prices are too high, so I'm like, I would like to get an apartment in Buenos Aires, and then I was looking at like getting a house in like Punta del Este, Punta Balena, because the prices aren't terrible there.
Yeah. Punta del Este is very shaped. Like all the famous people from Argentina go there to have their summer.
Yeah.
All people there. And actually from here, we sometimes go to Paraguay to buy tech because it's much cheaper there. Or for example, the wheels of the car, it's very like usual to just go with your car to Paraguay and get back with the brand new wheels because it's much cheaper there also. Yeah.
Now, have you been to Punta del Este?
I have. Yeah, it's like it's nice.
Did you go there at Fiesta Beach?
No, I haven't. I haven't gone. I mean, I only went once, but it was with my parents. I mean, we went. I actually don't think they have the best coast. I think that Montevideo it's kind of better in my opinion in that aspect. And Montevideo is like Palermo with a coast.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was like very natural to stay there in Montevideo. Punta del Este seems more like I don't know, like I wouldn't like the people there. I think, but it's pretty chill. I think Uruguay, in general terms, the people are chiller than here.
Well, I heard it's boring, but like I'm looking for a good plan B. Like, and boring's good, and I'm trying to see like what what places property hasn't gone crazy, and that's like Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, because you guys don't have crazy prices because you can't get loans, so people have to pay cash, so you don't have a lot of speculation in your property market. Where here, people put no money down, and then they're buying these $1 million properties with 8% down. So you guys don't have a bubble.
I think wasn't that what led you to the 2008 thing? Yeah.
Well, okay, so like what happened was if you're a first-time home buyer, you're supposed to put 20% down, which is like normal, minimum. But they had a thing where if you're a first-time home buyer, you could put like 5-7% down, which is nothing. And then you get a thing called they're called prime loans, but you would get insurance to cover it. So you would pay an extra premium for insurance that would ensure that the bank got paid on the loan if you defaulted, right? But what happened was these insurers weren't planning on all these defaults, so the insurance companies that were supposed to pay the banks insurance went out of business. So then the banks took all the losses, and then the whole thing collapsed. So it's really bad when the insurance companies go under.
To help them.
So my dad had a whole life insurance policy. So whole life is terms when you're like, hey, I'm doing 10 years, 30 years. If I die, I get this big payout, but you keep all the money. Whole life's where you pay in every month. And you can withdraw the money at the end if you want. So you have access to the cash. So whole life is like the best way to do it because you get your money back. So theoretically, in the 2009 crash, and he's been paying into this policy since he was like 20 years old. So theoretically, in the last crash, AIG, which was the largest insurance company in the U.S., they were done. They were bankrupt. So everyone's insurance policy and then their whole lives were gone. So imagine you're a widow and your husband just died and you did the right thing. You had the insurance and you're going to get the $2 million payout so you could take care of kids. That company is gone. Or you paid into this whole life, your whole life, and you're going to collect it and the company's gone. So that's why the government came in. They had to bail it out. But these policies aren't guaranteed by the government, who says, I don't think there's going to be the willpower to bail out these insurance companies again. So my dad had this big whole life policy, and he was like, you know what? It's not guaranteed. I want to enjoy it before I die. He sold his policy that he was paying into since he was 20 to get a hold of the cash. And he's kind of making the right moves right now, like as if things aren't going to work and get ahead of it. Because good luck collecting your money from the insurance. And it was hard getting the money from them when things are normal. They're like, oh, you sure you want to do this? And yada, yada. Yeah. So I just think...
Just put a lot of bureaucracy in the middle.
Yeah, I just think...
Tire you out, and that's it.
The moves are to be made now, and you just don't know when the next crazy thing's going to happen. And for me, I have my residencies, but like now I want to get like I want to get a property or like buy something down there and have a little spot to go to. Now, if I were, like, I obviously know the city, like I like Palermo, Recoleta, like those areas. Where, if you wanted to buy a house, like how far do you have to go outside the city? And like, are there good spots? Like where do people, if they want to go to suburbia, go?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, before we move on, I do have to warn you. Like in 10 minutes,
Okay.
I do have to leave.
All right.
But if I were to buy a nice, like, if you want a nice residential house, I would look into San Isidro, Núñez. You know, it's not that far away. It's not far away from the city, but they are more residential neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a big...
Now, how far are those outside the city? Like 20-minute drive, or?
Let's say, for example, I live like an hour away by train of the city.
You live an hour outside the city?
Literally, yeah. That's why I'm saying
That's why you have to go. You have to catch the train home.
Yeah, an hour away.
Oh my god. Now, do you live out there with your family?
It is normal to us, but my rent is, let's say, like a third of what I would pay here.
What city do you live in?
I live in a city called Banfield.
Banfield, huh?
Banfield, yeah.
Is it small or?
Well, it's quite small, yeah. But it's more residential, and we do have like some sort of English neighborhood because the English people that set up the trains had really good mansions, so and they are still standing. So good construction.
So I could get a cheap mansion in your little town.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to take. How long? Okay, it's an hour by train, but like, how long would it be if you drove?
Well, that depends on the hour.
Yeah.
But at least 40 minutes.
Oh my god.
At least. Because, yeah, there's a lot of traffic.
Now, are you from this town, or you just found a really cheap place to rent out there?
Well, I used to live a bit farther.
Oh my god, so you're coming closer.
Yeah, coming closer like year by year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to live in a town called Temperley.
Yeah.
A bit farther away. That's like, I don't know, like 15 minutes more. I mean, here, let's say I live outside of the city. But actually, if you go by train, you will see that all the cities are kind of stick together.
Yeah.
It's not really like a separation. Maybe in the USA you do have some separation between one point and another.
Yeah.
Here we kind of build up everything, and we.
Now, is it?
And that's why we have like, I think like 50% of the population in Argentina lives here in Buenos Aires, and the other 50 is just gathered around like in 23 provinces. So there are lots of, I mean, there are good opportunities here, but there are also good opportunities somewhere else, you know, in different provinces. It
Now,
depends what you are looking for.
I have a question. So, do the rich people have like their apartment in the city, and then what do they call it? Chakara, the what do you call the farms?
A quinta, no, una quinta.
A quinta.
Yeah, una quinta.
And
Yeah.
where do they have those farms? Like where you're at, or?
It's very usual for people to have an apartment here in the city, and let's say like a weekend house in maybe Canning or Pilar, you know, because we have like very there are close neighborhoods building up, and there you can have like a very big house with your pool, with your garden, with I don't know like a tennis court lawn and something like that.
In
So
Pilar?
that's what
Okay, I've heard of
people
that. Now,
you do have to be in the city.
what's the big beach place at South Del Mar, or what's it called?
Mar del Plata.
Yeah. Is that beach good, or is that like overrated? I've never been.
Kind of. I mean, the water is pretty cold.
Okay.
I mean, the water is pretty cold all around our coast
Yeah.
because we like let's say that the hot water is in Brazil.
Yeah.
It's up there. They are closest to the Ecuador. We are a bit farther away, so we have good beaches, for example, to do surfing. Surfing lessons.
So say it's summertime and it's the weekend. What do you and your friends do? Do you guys go down to the beach? Do you go to the countryside? Like, what's kind of the thing to do during summer, like to get out of town?
During summer, yeah, you can go to a beach. You can go to Mar del Plata. There are like little cities in the coast that you can visit. Pinamar, Villa Gesell, Villa Gesell. Those are pretty like well known for young people. And then you have like more chill beaches to visit. But I mean, I do like to visit my country. So, and I do have a sister living in the south of the country. There's like a city called Ushuaia, and they have mountains, they have lakes, they have rivers. It is also very expensive to buy property there.
Really? Why?
Lots of foreigners go there because it's the city that's the closest to the Antarctica. So lots of expeditions go from there to Antarctica or to Chile. You know, there are lots of
Now, have you done? I was looking at like lake houses and stuff in like Pucón and Villarica. Have you ever been to southern Chile?
I haven't been to Chile yet. No.
You haven't been to Chile? It's your neighbor.
No. Yeah.
I guess you can't drive there because it's like the Andes, so you'd have to like book a flight.
I could, but it's like a 14-hour drive.
Yeah, it's probably not a fun drive going through the Andes. It's funny because like a lot of my friends from Panama have never been to like a lot of countries in South America, and when I talk to them, their explanation makes sense. Like, it's expensive to fly to South America. It's the same price to buy a ticket to Barcelona as it is to go to Chile. So like, why would you go to Chile?
I mean, well, for us, maybe it's a bit like
Cheaper.
to go to Chile. But honestly, for me, to go to Roatan, that's like a South American country, it was just as expensive as going to Europe in July.
Okay.
I could have gone to Europe like back and forth.
Why didn't you?
Yeah,
Have you been to Barcelona yet?
I have.
Okay.
But that's it.
And you've been to
I
Miami.
would totally go back.
And you've been to Miami.
I haven't. I don't have the visa yet, but I think also.
Donnie T is not letting you in.
No. There's a regulation coming in next year, I think, if everything goes well with Milei, that we will be getting into the U.S. without a visa.
Yeah, I heard of that. That'd be very, very good.
That's good. I mean, because we were kind of thinking with my partner, we wanted to set up a business there. We were like, hey, but this news came up. I mean, we shouldn't get a visa because maybe we can get it for free and save us all the problems, and that's it. Yeah, and we will see what happens.
Okay. Well, I don't want you to miss the train and get stuck in.
Okay, no, I have to work. I have to work for the hackathon tomorrow. I have to pitch.
Well, I got invited to do the Nomad Capitalist in front of 1,000 people, and it's a 30-minute speech.
That's
And
awesome.
I can't do it because I'm gonna be out of town, but it was kind of a cool invite out of nowhere. I think I'm not kidding you, like the original guy, I think it was, they wouldn't tell me, but
You're OG, the nomad capitalist.
I know, and it was like a bunch of famous, like Wozniak was gonna be there, this famous like Pulitzer Prize journalist, and someone backed out, so I was a backup. And I was like, dude, I can't come up with this whole speech in time, and I haven't given a presentation since like college. So I just started taking like Toastmasters here, which is like it's like it's a public speaking class.
I have heard of it. It's like a club.
Yeah, it's kind of like AA. They have it everywhere. And I took like there's different levels, so I'm taking like a really like good one. And I'm like I have fear of public speaking, and you talk on camera, you work on your words better, how you pronunciate, what words you use, and it's a muscle. But getting in front of people is completely different than like I'm talking to myself on camera, and it's hard to practice in your day to day. So that's why I had to join this class so I could get up in front of people. And I didn't even think I had it in me. I was like, I just wanted to get the courage to go up there, and I actually like had to give my intro speech, and I like did really well. So I'm stoked. And I got invited to speak in the Bitcoin Jungle one, and then also one in Paraguay, which I said no to. So like now that I'm getting confidence,
Now you're an international speaker. Well, that's awesome.
I will do.
That's amazing.
I will do some. I also do some conferences, but I'm also like thinking if business is going well, like I want to throw like a Bitcoin Capitalist live in Dubai. And not like a convention. We'll have like speakers, and then bring a bunch of like kind of influential celebrities, put everyone at a table, do a big dinner, drinks, do that, and then like more partying, younger people, and do maybe like a day or two. But what's crazy is like Nomad Capitalist, the thing they invited me to speak at is $4,000 a ticket. VIP is $28,000, and they were selling 800 plus tickets. And the only thing you get for VIP is to have dinner with all the speakers. And I looked at the list, and I'm not getting. They're not paying me any money. They're flying me for free, and they're putting me in a nice hotel. I fly for free anyways. I can buy my own hotel, and these guys are gonna make a bunch of money off me. So what I'm thinking is like I can do something like this, and what I would do is. It's not hard to get people to come out. Like they were just promising people a free flight and hotel, and like I guarantee all these influencers you see like 80-90% if they got a free ticket to Dubai and a hotel, they would come out and speak and be at your conference.
I want the free ticket to the
She's I promise if I ever get the Bitcoin Capitalist Live in Dubai, I will get you a ticket, even though it'll probably be pretty expensive coming from Argentina.
It would be a bit expensive. I think it's like a 30 hours flight.
You would have to fly maybe to Panama or Miami, and then.
I think Panama, and then because.
See, that's the problem. Why Buenos Aires doesn't have as much travel as the flights in and out. It's tough to get to, and I can do it direct LA or Houston down there. But if you're coming from Europe, I mean, that's a pretty brutal.
Yeah, no, I think we have a direct flights to Spain and to Italy, and there are some flights to France. To find other countries would be a bit different, but also I don't want to like miss out on this opportunity. In LF, in the co-work that I work in, we are having like free theater lessons each week, and honestly, it helped me a lot to get like more, let's say, like comfortable.
So you're like acting.
Yes.
So it's like improv type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we did improv today, and I was like, if I can be a silly idiot in front of these people that already know me, I can get people to listen to me.
So then they get up there and they're like, act like a dog, and then you're like.
Well, I haven't acted like a dog. Today I was a quinceañera.
That's my next step. If I get good at this, I'll do the improv. But
totally.
Part of the thing is they'll ask you random questions. Like, it's easy to talk what you know about, but you'll get up and they'll ask you a random question and you have to fill a certain amount of time. So it's good because if I ever do like an interview or something, you know, someone tries to throw you off and you're not going to know the question beforehand. And so, and thinking when you're nervous and your heart's racing is completely different than, you know, talking on, you know, sitting at your desk.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't have your notes. You can't edit anything. You can't cut. You can't like re-record it. It's awful. But that's why like we have to get out of the box too, and just speaking to different people to know people. That is the best way to just gain trust in what you do. Feel more confident in yourself because these situations are gonna happen eventually, and if you want to get to the point where you do like more prepared.
All right. Well, I got some company. I will let you go and do not miss the train. Okay.
No, don't worry. It was a pleasure to.
All right. Adios. We'll catch up soon.
Sure.
Bye.